in this part we are going to create the GUI for, or the GUI elements for our battle system. As you may have or may remember from Final Fantasy VI, there was a bar down below, as I also showed in the introduction. And yeah, that's what we are going to create right now, or some kind of that. So depending on where the GUI will be, we may want to fiddle around with the camera and yeah, select or set everything up as we want it to be. The first thing is, for me right now, I want to drag over that cubes a bit more. Also, I want to extend the battlefield just a bit, maybe like this, just to make enough space. So what I want to do right now is I want to go into the hierarchy panel, right click UI and say canvas. This canvas is going to be my battle canvas. Since we want or will have later on more canvases, or maybe I want to make sure that I know what I what I do. Under that GUI canvas, I want to create a new panel, and this panel will hold my heroes and my enemies. I can have several possibilities in here, but I think I will go for the easiest at first. What I did is, as you can see, this is a normal button or panel graphic you are going to get when you use Unity. What I did, I created my own texture. Let me see if I can zoom in to that. Well, no, not yet. I will just show you what I do. Instead of using that panel UI, I use my own one, which I call text field, and as you can see, this is a graphic for it. This is also, or should be later on, a 9 sliced field. So if you are creating your own text field, make sure that you set this one to Sprite 2D and UI. Go to your sprite editor. This is my sprite. It's 32 by 32. But I see it is the wrong one. I need to update this one pretty quick. Give me just a second. Okay, so I updated the graphic to the latest one. As you can see, this is wrong. So what I go is, again, I go into the sprite editor. As you can see, the graphic is a bit different. And what I do right now is I drag this green spots to that points over here. Let's see if I should go there. Maybe I just go one more in. So what will happen right now is that the border will not be stretched, just the center, and since I have nothing inside the center, everything will just be blue, and I will have a nice border for this. So I apply that, and what I do is, again, I add the text field graphic or texture into the panel. What you can see right now is it is fully blue in the middle, and we have a small border. What I do right now is I increase the alpha for the whole graphic, and now you can see I have some graphic like in Final Fantasy, or kind of. I just don't have the gradient in the center. Even if I would be able to do so. Now I go to 2D mode, and what I can do right now is, with direct transform tool, I can just drag down that bar or panel to wherever I want, maybe like this, maybe to the center, or wherever I want. And this panel will later on hold all our hero information, so I just call this one hero panel. Also, I want to create another panel. So I just go over and duplicate the hero panel, drag this over, and make it clamp that boss R again together. And now I just rename this one to enemy panel. So this will hold enemy information, maybe like just the name of the enemies in the scene. And yeah, this will be updated. Will be updated later on. Also, there will be text or just text fields for all the enemies in the scene, the maximum of 4, so I need 4 container for text later on. So depending on how I want this to look, I can just do everything I want. So now I want to make sure that when I use a free aspect, and I change the size of the field to the left and to the right, you can see everything is just messed up. So I want to make sure I just go and do that pretty quick again. What I want to make sure is that everything will be scaled in the right the right way. I have two possibilities. I can use the canvas scaler for this one to make sure that one side, the height or the width, is going to be active and will be the scale. I don't know, how should I say, well, the scale goal. I just noticed I forgot to rename the panel for the enemy to how it has to be. So what I can do right now is I can just drag in that anchor points to the corresponding size maybe of the panel I want to stretch. Same for the other one. So what will happen is they will stay or keep the initial stretching or aspect in the screen. So if I scroll down or make the height lower, then they will keep the right aspect for the height, and the same is going to happen for the width. So no matter what, they will keep everything. And also I want to make sure that every other component inside of that are going to do the same. Now, as you can see, if the text or the borders for my screen have maybe a quarter of the screen height, this might be okay. Maybe we need a bit more. What I have the problem is I cannot see everything right now since the canvas is overlaying. As you can see, screen space overlay is overlaying all 3D objects and all other things. So what I want to make sure is that I grab the camera and drag this one a bit down. So now I can see all my characters in the game, and I can also see that stuff in here. If the angle is not high enough, then I can just go over and make it a bit higher, maybe like 45 degrees. And then I can also go over when I later on have more than just 3 characters or 2 characters. I can just increase the angle. So for now I just keep it at 25 or 30 degrees, maybe reduce the height so I can see all of them, all enemies and all heroes. Okay, so that's for the fine-tuning. Just for the moment, maybe I could just go back a bit higher, maybe like this. Doesn't look too bad. So now let's go forward and create the rest for our GUI. So at first I want a new panel. This panel can be everything. So at first I select the hero panel, create a new panel. This panel can or will automatically get the height of the anchor points we just created. So if the anchor points are just surrounding this one, then the panel is going to be the same size. If the anchor points will be, or you left them in the canvas full screen, I would say, then the panel would get full screen. So what I want to do is I want to reduce the panel size, not the anchor points. At first the panel size to maybe 1/4 of that. And also I want to make sure that the anchor points are following up. So the stretching will be inside of that and the same. Also drag this one a bit down and maybe thin that one out a bit to here and to there. What I also want to get rid of is the graphic for that, but to make visible what we are doing, I just keep this for now. So this will be, I don't know, 1 hero bar, let's say. And this hero bar will get our progress bar and our health points, our magic points, and our hero's name. So at first let's start with the name. We just create under that hero bar another UI text in this case. We want to make sure that it is fitting in the corner. What we want to do, since we want to scale the text depending on the whole panel size, we want to make sure that we choose best fit for this one. Go over and create your own or get your own font if you want to. I just make this one bold and just say hero 1. The name later on can be changed by script or will be changed by script, or depending on your base you just created. Okay, so I want this to be in the center and in the center maybe, or to the left, I don't know, and give it a bit space from the top and so on. So make it as big to the right as you need, depending on the length of your names, and also make sure that you have a good readable good readable color. In my case I just choose white. So under that hero bar again I want to create an image, and this image is going to hold the background of my progress bar. So I just say progress BG for progress background, and I choose, I don't know, a darkish color. You can also use any graphic inside of that image bar. I just don't want to do that right now. So I put this maybe here, and this is going to take maybe a darkish blue color, or maybe a bit blackish, I don't know. You can also make this one completely invisible and just use a filled image for this. I just want to go over and check out what would looks best later on. Maybe I just use black instead. That could look nice too. So this is a progress bar. Then we have what I also need is another UI image inside of that progress bar. What I want to do is I just duplicate the progress background, rename this one into this is not the background, it's going to be the border, the first one. The second one is the background. This maybe is a dark blue, I don't know, maybe like so. And then we reduce the size a bit. Again, center this one to the other image until it looks okay. And in that bar we want to fill in the whole progress stuff. So I duplicate the progress bar once again. This will have the same size, and this is going to be just the progress bar. And this one needs another color, maybe a bit more lightish, or I don't know, maybe like this. So with that progress bar, the last one, we are going to later on use the X scale, or the local scale of the X-axis, to increase and reduce the size of it to show the progress we have to wait until we can do our first turn. What we want to do is we want to select that over here, and then we press Shift and select the left. So the pivot point of the image bar is going to hop to the left. What happened is, if the pivot is to the left, the scale of the progress bar will go from the left to the right. That's what we want. So the far bar will later on fill over time, and once it's full we will do our action, or we will blend in more GUI elements. So, and if this is not enough, that progress bar, you can increase and decrease the size every time. Do that as do that once you're done, or let's say once you're done, try not to change anything again. That's what I want to say. So make sure everything fits properly and looks okayish, so we later on don't have to do much more fiddling around. Okay, so I have the progress bar right now with the border in the background, and what I want to do next is I want maybe some information. We can do, as we may know from Final Fantasy, they can see the HP number and nothing else. We can also blend in HP and MP, and this is going to hold other text elements, or actually that informations will be text elements too. So again, first I want to make sure that all UI elements in here will scale right. So what I do is I take all that anchor points from the text element at first and just drag them to their corresponding positions. So if I reduce this, you can see hero will always stay at the same position and will automatically scale, but that bars in here are not doing that. So what I need to do is I need to get back once again until we have the old position back. Well, hopefully. So maybe better don't change anything until you really know what to do, otherwise you may have to return and do all that stuff once again. So make sure everything is set up properly. At first we go and take the progress border, again take the anchor points and drag them to the border outlines. Sometimes it's a bit hard to get them. You can maybe set them by hand somehow. I don't know. 0.5. Nope. Just 0. I don't know. No. Those are not the right ones. Okay, so make sure everything is set up like this. Now we go to the background from the progress bar and we do the same again. We take all that anchor points and drag them to the outer parts like this. Oh, don't rotate. Sometimes again it's really hard to grab them and fit them as that good. And the same for this one. For the progress bar, as you can see, it has everything here on the left. We don't want that on the left. We again want all the anchor points. Maybe I can. Nope. That was wrong. Well, there is nothing I can use, I believe. So take them and fit them. There we go. So now test again. When I reduce the size, it will all stay at the same position, and even if I use free aspect, it will also automatically scale in height and in width no matter where it is. So pretty cool. Later on we can just go over and copy that whole hero bar so we can add more heroes. This text is going to be the name of the hero, so rename that properly. And also what we want to do is hero HP and hero MP as text. So I create another new text element here, and maybe I just put the first one in here. Say again best fit. If you have best fit on, then you may want to set a minimum and a maximum size of the text. So I choose 5 as minimum, so I can at least see anything. I want to make sure that I use white text to make it at least a bit visible. And when I say HP, maybe double dot, and then I can say 9999999. Okay. So I go over and scale this as much as I need it, and as how long it looks good. Maybe like this. Now I just rename this once again, HP text, and duplicate by using Ctrl D once again. And what I do is I set the text in here to MP. Keep it as keep it at the same position, and rename it in here to MP text. So for now we don't fiddle around with HP and MP. We will do that way later on. So yeah, so now we have one of those bars in here. What we can do is we can create a prefab out of this for later instantiation, or I don't know, but we can also keep it as it is. Well, let's just create a prefab out of this with the hero bar, which is a complete component in here. Later on we go over and add some scripting to it if it is needed. So just drag this one into our prefabs folder. What I can do right now is I can create another spacer object which with an horizontal layout group inside, but I believe we don't need to do this right now. We can also just go over and duplicate the whole hero bar and drag this one just down and place it where it has to be. Also make sure that that anchor point of the first hero bar in here is going to set up properly. So we just drag them down here, drag them down there, and then both of that hero bars should resize properly. And as you can see, everything looks good. The only thing which is not working, let me go to 16 by 10. What is not changing is those HP and MP text bars. So again, I get rid of the first hero bar once again. Go in as a second one, go into MP and take all those anchor points again and make sure that they are at the outside or the outline of the text component. Same here. So they will also go over and keep aspect or the aspect ratio as best as I can. Okay, and let's go to free aspect once again. So now they also should be able to resize, scale down, and keep position as they want to, and get as big as the screen is, as better they are readable. Sometimes the MP part seems not to work properly, but this can be fixed later on, I would say. So again, go and now when we have done changes and we already created the prefab, we just select the hero bar again and press on the top right corner in the inspector to apply. So all changes are applied to the prefab itself. So if we have to change anything later on directly in the prefab, we can do that, or we just do it here, but we have to apply this or any changes we done to that bar. Now what can I do is I can deactivate the image component in the panel itself, so it will just look like this with a bar, the HP and the name. And again, now we are able to duplicate this once again by selecting the bar, Ctrl D, or just dragging in the prefab to a corresponding position, which might be a bit better. Well, it doesn't change anything. Again, we just need to make sure that we take those handles and place them on the right position. So now again, everything will fit wherever and however we just set this one up. There seemed to be a rotation or something, but again, we don't fiddle around with that stuff right now. Okay, so that's pretty much it done. So now we can just create or rename this one again, and the name of the hero in here will be just hero 2. Oh, don't enter. And yeah, now we can just fiddle around with all the other things. One thing we might want to already make sure that we have already is we create a new panel under the battle canvas. So select the battle canvas again, set new panel. Now you can see it's fully sized once again. Now I go again to my image source background, choose text field, go into color, choose full alpha, scale this one down once again to the height of the already existing panels. And again, this can be done big and small, however we want to, and depending on where we want to have all our menus later on. So once the hero bar is going to be full, somehow it does not changed the name in here, I don't know why. Okay, again, this panel will hold later on all our attacks or basic fight or basic fighting submenus or first menu menus. And what we can do is we can just create buttons inside of that panel too. So this is going to be our let's call this one action panel. So this action panel now gets 2 buttons for now, later on maybe more, depending on what we can or what we are able to do. We can also create 4 buttons. This button will already fit inside, and we can also later get rid of the image component inside. And we want to type in some text. This text component again should be best fit once again, so it will scale with the screen size also. We can also make sure that the text is maybe bold and it has white text. The buttons itself, the image component again can be disabled, so we just read the button, but it's hard to see that maybe later on, so we might want to grab a close color or a color we can, let's say, see a bit, to see what we are doing. Later on we again can just disable that button graphic. So now again we take those anchor points and drag them outside. Same for this panel, and here we also need to make sure that the anchor points are dragged to the right position. I believe there is a way to make this one better, but I want to make sure that we can go through that pretty quick. Again, we can create a new horizontal layout group for this, or we just drag around the buttons. Let me check one thing pretty quick. Oh yeah, that's a problem. Okay, so make sure that you set up your button at first and set it to the right position. This button text will go and be just a tag. If it's too big, we want to make sure that we can decrease its size a bit, maybe more. maybe like this. Then I go over and duplicate this button just to see how many buttons fit into that. Again, with a horizontal group we wouldn't need to fiddle around with all that stuff, but let's say that's okay. So the first button is our attack button, and we'll hold the text attack, and it will be or it needs all that anchor points again at the outside of the button. The next button is going to be our defend button, and depending on what the skills of the heroes are later on, this will be changed by script anyways. So also the buttons will get created depending on what the heroes can do in their steps, and also we later on may go over the item using, but for now I just want to go over and create that battle or turn-based battle without all that fiddling around with items and stuff, because that is just a matter of time to get this done. This one is going to get renamed to defend. Okay, and yeah, let's just get rid of the last 3 buttons, and here we can again go over and name them items and whatever, run away from the battle. Oh, that was wrong. So I just get rid of that buttons to not get confused and don't confuse you too much. Okay, and the last one might be another panel, which is a copy of this action panel, which will be laid over that, or maybe laid over to the right a bit, which will make us able to select an enemy we want to attack. So again, I copy that action panel, or I duplicate this one and rename this one to select target panel. Now oops. Okay. And instead of that attack button, we just have target 1 button with the text of, for now, just E1. And the second panel, oh, we are on the wrong one. That was the wrong panel, I'm sorry. We need to do that once again. So this is target 1 button, and this is going to be target 2 button. And in the text we just write E1 for being enemy 1. Well, just for now. And E2 for enemy 2. Later on, when we go over and try to heal our heroes, we will have more buttons and more panels. But for now, this is going to be very okay. So with that done, I select the select target panel. What I want to add as a component is going to be an event, I believe. Nope. Maybe a layout. Yep. A layout, and this layout is going to be a canvas group. The canvas group does not do anything for us except blocking raycast from inputs. So if we are selecting one button of that, we don't go through that and also select the defend button. So make sure that you use block raycast in that canvas group for that button, or for that panel, for the wall panel. Okay, that's it for that button. If you need to and your action bar is somewhere else where another panel or anything or other buttons are under, make sure that you also add that canvas group from the layouts to the action panel, so you won't be able to tab through that panel also. Okay, so what we do have, or what we right now have done, is we have fully resizable and stretchable GUI layout, which blocks raycast on positions we just don't need a raycast, like in that first panel, that select target panel and the action panel. And we have done all the progress bars, or all the stuff we need for the progress bars. So in the next chapter we are going to create the progress bars and make sure that they are working, and we are starting to create the first state machine for our first hero, or actually for all heroes. So stay tuned for and into the next part. Until then, bye bye.